Hi, welcome to the first episode of I Don't Give a Shit What You Think. My name is Joel Eisenberg.
And I'm Mike Eisenberg, and as you can tell that we're brothers.
Today we're going to argue the Wizard of Oz universe, the Oz universe. We're going to discuss it. I don't know if we agree or not. When we do these podcasts, we very rarely discuss them individually beforehand, so let's get going. Mike, what were your opinions of the Wizard of Oz and Wicked?
So I love both of the movies. Well, we'll do the Wizard. I'll do the Wizard of Oz afterwards. I love both Wicked movies. I thought they were great. I think you liked them more than I did. I am not a fan of Cynthia Erivo. I don't know. She just
Arrivo.
bugs me. Whatever her name is, she bugs me every time she comes on the camera on the screen. But that's irrelevant. I'll move past that. I have thought to myself if these movies would also hold up 30, 40, 50 years down the line, and I do think they will. I just think there's always going to be a big demand with our kids, our grandkids, the kids, grandkids, great grandkids. I think these two movies are going to be very timeless, like The Wizard of Oz. In The Wizard of Oz, in the beginning, that movie was a big financial disaster. It took about 20 years for that movie to start going on TV to finally become cult status and one of the greatest movies ever made. It was also crunched in during when it was made in 1939 with Gone with the Wind. And so I think that Wicked and Wicked for Good are also going to be pushed in that realm as well many years down the line. I think both of those movies are phenomenal, along with The Wizard of Oz. Everybody loves Wizard of Oz. I don't know people who don't like it, but I think they're all three of them are just very timeless classic films.
Well, I know people who dislike the Wizard of Oz. I love the Wizard of Oz. I hear you when you say it's in 1939. Was originally in 1939. It was originally a disaster,
Was
and over the
financial
years,
bust
over the
because
decades, until what?
it was a financial bust because Gone with the Wind was sucking away everything.
Over the decades, it became a television favorite and became a timeless classic.
Yep.
I posted on Facebook fairly recently about exactly this, and I gotta say, I was surprised the reaction. I posted it: do the Wicked movies have any chance, any opportunity whatsoever of attaining the timelessness that the Wizard of Oz did? And the response was universal. The response was highly negative.
Why?
The Wicked movies have no shot. It's never going to
Why?
happen. So I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's well. Let me just say this: the Wicked movies are among the most highest-grossing American musical movies ever made. Both of them. They're extremely popular. I've been to several screenings of each where people dress up in costumes and so forth and so on. It's not quite Rocky Horror Picture Show, but it's something else. I completely disagree with you on Cynthia Erivo. I thought it was absolutely brilliant, and who probably deserved the Oscar last year. She probably will not get nominated this year, but Ariana Grande probably will, from every indication. But the thing is, the consensus on Threads and Facebook and everywhere else where I posted was that the Wicked movies have no shot whatsoever of catching up to The Wizard of Oz in terms of popularity. I kind of dispute that.
Well, what are they saying that they're saying? What are they saying? Why?
The music's not as good, the story's not as good, and it's fan fiction.
Music's not as good because nobody knows the music that much. I mean, you got to give it some time. It took The Wizard of Oz 17, 18, 19, 20 years for people to go, oh, hold on. This is a timeless family movie. You know, I love the music. I love everything about it. Now everybody knows Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Everybody knows all these songs, you know. I just think it needs to have some time. I think a lot of these, I don't know, the critics loved it. I just think a lot of these people
The
now
critics
are
didn't love
just,
the second one. The critics loved the first one.
okay.
Second one got a lot of mixed reviews. Second one's my preference, by the way.
Second one was great. It was much better than the first one.
I agree.
You know, I mean, the story was phenomenal. So,
But
but
the thing is, what you're looking at, Gregory Maguire wrote Wicked as a novel, which some people compared to fan fiction of The Wizard of Oz. And it's essentially fan fiction of The Wizard of Oz. Public domain, the L. Frank Baum books were largely in the public domain. He was able to write a series of novels based in the Oz universe. Wicked became a highly popular Broadway show. The movie's translated to my mind, and like I said, I love the second one. The second one to me was the equivalent, not nearly as good. So I know I'm going to get shot for this, but it was the equivalent of The Empire Strikes Back compared to Star Wars. One was light and airy, and one was dark. Nah, you got to look at how I'm comparing it. It's nothing like The Empire Strikes Back in terms of quality or, in my opinion, timelessness. But I think the movies are great. The second one I absolutely loved. But the thing is, in my opinion, fan fiction or not, the Broadway show is a perennial now. I think the movies will become a perennial. I think they'll show on TV every year. every
I just think it
Christmas.
needs time. It needs time.
It would die. We actually agree on something.
That's the first. And we agree on three movies because it's the both Wicked movies and the Wizard of Oz. So that's a
And again,
first.
to be clear, The Empire Strikes Back is tied for my favorite movie of all time. I don't put Wicked for Good in that realm, but in terms of a dark movie following a lighter movie, that's the comparison. What's next?
I don't think Wicked for Good was a light movie. That had a lot of dark
That's what I
undertones.
was saying. Wicked for Good was a
You
darker
know,
movie following a lighter
I,
movie. The first one was light, the second
I
one was
get it. I
dark.
get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. But
Not that I give
yeah,
a shit what you think, but go on. What's
I think
next?
those are going to be. I think these are going to be the only three movies that Joel and I are going to agree on ever.
All right, choose the next one.
We don't agree on anything.
From the Oz
Return to Oz.
universe. Which one?
Return to Oz. I was told to watch this. I was told this is a dark movie. It was a dark movie. I hated the movie. I thought I couldn't figure out if this movie was geared towards children or adults. I thought everything about this movie was cartoonish from the way the trees were talking. It's a 1985 movie. They could have done some CGI in this movie instead of making it like an animated. Parts of that movie were animated. I hated it. I hated everything about this movie. I couldn't care less. Fairuza Balk is fine, but I couldn't care less about the film. I didn't find anything remotely appealing about it. It had dark undertones, but so what? It's there's nothing to it. I don't think it anything. Okay, so she goes back. Big deal. She goes back to Oz. Big deal. The scarecrow. There was just I don't know. There's just something about this movie that pissed me off. I think more than
You're
ever.
entitled to your wrong opinion.
I just didn't like it.
Walter Murch did something different in terms of CGI. CGI didn't come was basically in its infancy during Jurassic Park.
I know.
This was several years before Jurassic Park and prior to Jurassic Park when CGI was becoming a thing.
Okay,
so they used
Star Wars was 1977.
Star Wars did not have
that.
CGI. Star Wars had practical effects.
But Star Wars, you could have made it. You could have made something instead of making it cartoonish in this spot and serious in this spot. You could have done something where it would have appealed to my eye. It doesn't have to appeal to my eye. I just found it very corny.
Look, Return to Oz was based on two L. Frank Baum books, Ozma of Oz and Return to Oz. They combined the books, and the film starts with Dorothy basically being sent to a sanitarium. Let me talk. Dorothy's basically being sent to a sanitarium for electroshock therapy. This is a dark movie. She escapes. She encounters myriad creatures. The film is not something that you love. It's not a musical. It's not something that you love as a musical, is what I meant to say. But if you look at this separate from The Wizard of Oz and look at it on its own as a dark fantasy, to me, this thing works. You don't like the stop motion animation? The stop motion animation, I agree, was largely primitive. It was not Ray Harryhausen level or Willis O'Brien level either. But
it was cartoonish.
It was cartoonish in spots. It didn't start out cartoonish. It was basically a sequel to The Wizard of Oz. Oz didn't exist according to MTM. And what happened was, again, Dorothy goes for electroshock therapy. She escapes. She winds up back in Oz. All sorts of creatures, disembodied heads, the whole deal. This is a PG movie in 1985. And it was a box office disappointment because the critics killed it, for one.
Because it was terrible.
Word of mouth killed it, for two.
Because it was terrible.
Because people compared it to The Wizard of Oz, which was a light and airy musical.
You don't even have to compare it to The Wizard of Oz. Wizard of Oz is a timeless classic. This movie was a piece of shit. No one has
The Wizard of Oz is a timeless classic.
It didn't have to be made.
Baum wrote The Wizard of Oz as a timeless classic. L. Frank Baum wrote The Wizard of Oz, and it was the first of many novels in the Oz universe. The other ones were progressively darker.
You mentioned that 10 minutes ago.
I know. Some of them were progressively darker, and this was a dark movie. So this is actually...
You didn't have to make this movie 46 years later.
What difference does it make?
Because it's terrible. Because you don't have to make a movie 46 years later. It loses its luster.
If The Wizard of Oz didn't exist, would it be a terrible movie?
Yeah.
Why?
Absolutely. Why? Because I didn't like anything about this movie. I didn't think the acting was good. I didn't think the characters were good. I didn't think like I've said, there's the cartoonish atmosphere of this movie was just.
When you say the cartoonish atmosphere, and we're starting out with electroshock therapy.
The talking trees is very cartoonish, and you can see it.
The talking trees are in The Wizard of Oz also.
Trees were people in an outfit and a costume, and it looked a lot.
So you're talking about the costumes. You're talking about special effects.
A lot better in 1939 with the trees than it did in 1985 with the cartoon trees. I just didn't like this movie at all. You're never going to convince me that this was a good movie.
I thought it was gutsy. I thought it was a dark fantasy, and I
Okay.
actually agree with several people on it that
And
it may just
and I don't.
be I was going to say may just be a classic in its way. When you're a kid, when I was a kid, Pinocchio was one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. If I saw Return to Oz when I was a kid, I'd be terrified. I go online, I see people talking about watching that movie as a kid, and they were horrified. And then
Well,
it
too
became a
bad you were
cult
21
classic,
at
and I
that
think
time.
deservedly so.
What?
Became a cult classic, and I think deservedly so.
Well, you were 21 at the time when it came out, so I wouldn't worry about you being a kid when it came out. So,
Thank you. What's next?
how about we do the Wiz? I'm
Go
going to
for
let
it.
you lead on that one. No, I'm going to let you lead on that.
Let me lead on The Wiz. The Wiz was directed by Sidney Lumet, who, let's try to do the trivia thing. What else did Sidney Lumet direct?
Yeah, and I wrote that down, and he had
Okay,
a
just keep. What did
slew of
Sidney
hits in the
Lumet direct for the
70s.
people who don't know?
He had the Anderson tape, Serpico, Murder on the Orient Express, Dog Day Afternoon, Network, and then he makes The Wiz, and he closes out the decade of the 70s with this piece of
And then he
shit
makes The
movie.
Wiz.
He makes it's a piece of shit movie. Again, stupid characters. I get it. Let's gear it towards a different genre. I get it. Okay, Michael Jackson is the Scarecrow. I couldn't even name half of these characters in this movie. I know Mabel King from What's Happening was in it. Um,
Diana Ross.
What?
Diana Ross, Nipsey Russell.
Yeah, we know. Oh, Nipsey Russell. Boy, that guy. I don't know how he had a career. Couldn't sing his way out of a paper bag. Can't act his way out of a paper bag. He was terrible as a tin man.
In the
Michael Jackson.
1970s, he was a big deal. He was on Match Game
Yeah, I know
73.
he's a big deal, but just the Wiz. I remember watching this the first time when I was 11, and I'm thinking to myself, this movie's really bad. And now I watched it again for the second time a couple of days ago, and I'm like, this movie did not hold up. This movie's terrible. Did you actually like this movie?
Okay, I'm going to give you my opinion. I think The Wiz is the single greatest movie in the history of the universe.
I don't even want to hear this. If Sidney, when I found
By
out
the
that
way, if you
Sidney
believe
Lumet,
that, you're all suckers. I'm only kidding. But here's the deal. If you're going to criticize the movie The Wiz, which was largely faithful to the Broadway show The Wiz, you have to criticize the Broadway show. Hold on, let me finish.
hold up, time out. I don't want Joel Eisenberg Mensa right now. I want Joel Eisenberg right now. I don't want
Joel Eisenberg
this.
Mensa.
I don't want this.
But thanks for perpetuating that. I really appreciate it.
I don't want this. This is what I want.
Shut
just
up.
tell me what you thought about this movie.
I'm getting there. So you're either a fan of the source material. I'm getting there. You're either let me finish. You're either a fan of the source material or you're not. You could say The Wiz Broadway was the source material. You can go back to The Wizard of Oz and you can go back to L. Frank Baum's book. The issue I had with this movie is it was shot in drab colors. I could have done without the snow cyclone. Some of it was very original. The Munchkins
Like
coming
what?
out of graffiti figures and things like this. But the story was obvious. The story didn't take any twists and turns outside of the visual.
Zero.
And that's the issue I had.
It wasn't even visually.
It wasn't the Wizard of Oz. It was what?
There wasn't anything good visually about this movie.
The Broadway play was an urban version of the Wizard of Oz, and that was the play. That was the movie. The movie was faithful to the Broadway play.
Nothing visual.
Hold on. There were
music
some
was
pretty
terrible.
clever. There were some pretty clever set pieces, but the story was very predictable. It followed directly the route of the Wizard of Oz, the 1939 film.
It looked like it was made on a shoestring budget. Wait, are you trying to tell me you actually like this movie?
I didn't think it was as bad as I thought it was years ago when I just rewatched it.
Wow.
Now that's not to say it was good, because
Wow.
I'd give it, if I had to rate it, I'd give it a 2.5 out of 5. Some of the music was good, the acting was good, but it was just so drab and such a monotonous experience, it didn't move me. And if it didn't move me and I didn't feel any emotion towards the characters or the story, because I felt I'd seen it all before outside of the original set pieces, that's it. To me, it was okay. 2.5 out of 5. Not that we're rating on a star scale, but that's my opinion. And I'm sticking to it, boy.
I don't know how you like this movie as much as you say you did. This movie, I don't know. It went south fast for me. I didn't like anything about it.
From what I understand, what?
I didn't like anything about it. From what you understand, what?
From what I understand, our last movie, Oz the Great and Powerful, directed by the great Sam Raimi, was an absolute piece of shit.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And I'll tell you why I thought it was an absolute piece of shit, because as a prequel to The Wizard of Oz, telling the story of The Wizard of Oz. To me, I felt like I was watching James Franco. I wasn't invested in the character. He didn't appear to me to be playing a character. I was watching James Franco. I couldn't
Yes,
get
you
behind.
were.
I couldn't get behind any of it. When I was watching the Wicked movies, I didn't feel like I was watching Jeff Goldblum. I felt like I was watching The Wizard of Oz. When I watched The Wizard of Oz, I didn't feel like I was watching Frank Morgan, a great character actor. I felt like I was watching The Wizard of Oz. When I watched Oz the Great and Powerful, even though he was not yet the Wizard of Oz, I felt like I was watching Franco
Why?
because his performance sucked. It's as if he was playing himself. He didn't assume a character. He was under a top hat in some of this. He didn't assume a character. He was playing Franco. That's it. There was no
To
performance
you,
because I could not get behind that main performance,
it took away.
despite some of the nice sets and all of
The
this.
sets were great.
I think it was by far Sam Raimi's worst movie. Sorry, Joey King. It's been a minute, but that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
All right, you're entitled. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed everything about it. I love the characters. I didn't. Well, Mila Kunis's was interesting as the witch, um, but it didn't. This was like my third time viewing this movie, and
I'm
I
sorry
liked
for
it
you.
the first time. Was that?
I'm sorry for you.
But I haven't seen it in years, and I still liked it. I don't know what this whole Franco playing Franco thing means, but um,
What it
I
means
don't
is
think he
James Franco
embodied.
did not get lost in a performance. James Franco was playing himself with a top hat.
I'm not a Franco fan. I like him more as a dramatic actor than
You're not a
a
Francophile?
comedic actor. What?
You're not a Francophile?
Not really. I'm not a big fan.
Me neither.
I like
Although he
the
was great in The Disaster Artist. He deserved an Oscar for that. He was nominated, but he didn't win.
right and 127 hours. Blah blah blah.
Oh, wait a
But
minute. Did he? Did he? He didn't win, did he?
no, he's never won. Um, but I liked the movie. I didn't think there was anything spectacular about it. I didn't think there was anything bad about it to the extreme. But I just gave it a flat three. I enjoyed it, and I like the characters. I like the design. I liked it. It was different, and it didn't always. It did stick to the Wizard of Oz, but not. It went off the path a little bit. But I still enjoyed. I still enjoyed watching it. I'd watch it again and
Sam
again.
Raimi
You know,
was responsible for a couple of the most original horror films ever made in the Evil Dead
yes,
franchise.
but
He was
this is
responsible
not.
for a handful
This
of.
is a different movie. So
Well, yeah. But he was responsible for a series of handmade of well-made, rather Spider-Man movies. This thing, what was it? What was the point? A prequel to The Wizard of Oz that went absolutely nowhere.
I think it was just popular. I think it was just riding on James Franco's popularity at the time to see if he can handle it
And he wasn't able to.
before he went downhill in his career. But
So let's sort of regroup here. We both agree on Wicked and Wicked for Good
and Wizard of Oz.
and The Wizard of Oz. We agree that The Wiz was the single greatest film ever made in the history of the universe.
And this is what I have to deal with every time. So understand.
We
my
totally
point.
disagree on Return to Oz, which was to my mind, it was quite a risky undertaking. A PG-rated dark Wizard of Oz movie, and it was great. It wasn't great in the sense that, oh my God, I got to see it again, but it was very risky, and I got to give it respect.
Not me.
And then The Wiz, we spoke about The Wiz, Oz the Great and Powerful. You enjoyed it. I thought it was Sam Raimi's least, just worst movie.
It's a different kind of movie.
You see, it's a different kind of movie. They try to mock The Wizard of Oz.
Different kind of Sam Raimi movie. It's not something that he would
Yeah,
usually.
big deal. They
That's
try
something he
to.
would usually pick to do. And again, this was made during Franco's height of his popularity, which probably is the reason why I think it did all right at the box office.
James Franco is a terrific actor. James Franco, like I said, in The Disaster Artist, he played Tommy Wiseau fantastically.
Back then he was, like,
Well, he got in trouble over the years, and now he's
right.
like,
I think that's why I think it just capitalized on his popularity, which is why I thought he didn't bother me at all. I enjoyed this movie. I'd see it again, like I said.
God, couldn't sit through it the first time.
Okay.
So this was another episode
I don't give a
of.
shit what you think.
I don't give a shit what you think. Again.